Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Hong Kong. Welcome to the Hong Kong International Philanthropy and Social Enterprise Week 2016. 歡迎咁多位來賓。咁今日咧就會以英語進行，因為我頭先都見到有啲來自西班牙、紐約嘅朋友。I would like to continue the proceeding in English because I have just met friends from Barcelona and also from New York. Can I give a very warm welcome from those who live in Hong Kong to all the guests from overseas, please? Thank you for joining us. Thank you. It's an interesting time. We witness various problems, social problems around the world. And we would love to have bright minds, innovative minds like all of you here today, and use different strategies, strategic philanthropy, social enterprises, to solve these problems. So without further ado, we would like to kickstart the opening ceremony by inviting our guest of honor, the Chief Secretary for Administration of the Hong Kong SAR government, Mrs. Carrie Lam, to come on stage to deliver her remarks. Mrs. Lam.
Simon, Alice, Jane, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to join you all at the opening of the first ever Hong Kong International Philanthropy and Social Enterprise Week, IPSE. Let me extend a very warm welcome to all distinguished speakers and guests coming from different parts of the world. The IPSE Week 2016 aims to promote the collaboration between different sectors to advance social objectives and to showcase the ongoing efforts and achievements of Hong Kong in the development of philanthropy and social enterprises. We are glad to have government officials, non-governmental organizations, leaders, academic social entrepreneurs, business leaders, philanthropists, and professionals from relevant sectors around the globe joining us to exchange experience with a view to generating ideas for social innovation and advancement. Indeed, I would say this is a congregation of great minds from different places and different backgrounds celebrating a common pursuit of social good. In line with Hong Kong's hyper-efficiency, this IPSE Week comprises 3 distinctive forums and summits on philanthropy and social enterprise development. First, we have the Philanthropy for Better Cities Forum, which is the first of its kind in Hong Kong. We will explore together the best practices of philanthropy and the effective use of philanthropic capital to create social impact in addressing metropolitan social issues. Hong Kong is a small yet fascinating international city. While most renowned for its economic and business success, we also have our unmet social needs. To meet the challenges, the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region government strives to strengthen social safety nets for the disadvantaged on one hand and foster its long-standing relationship with charitable bodies to deliver public services and social projects on the other. We work with various charities on all fronts and at all levels in a wide range of programs for good causes, from healthcare, education, and support services for the disadvantaged to promotion of arts, culture, sports, youth development, community building in our city, to even financial and disaster relief overseas. Hong Kong is a city with a long-established culture of giving. The first Chinese hospital in Hong Kong was not initiated by the government, but by a group of earnest local Chinese leaders through raising funds in the community. Following the enactment of the Tung Wah Hospital Ordinance and with the funding support and land grant from the government, the Tung Wah Hospital was completed in 1872 and started to provide free Chinese medical services to the sick and the poor. In the late 19th century, abduction and trafficking of women and children were serious in Hong Kong. In 1878, a group of local Chinese presented a petition to the government to set up an organization to rescue the kidnapped victims. The Pola and Cook, formerly known as the Society for the Protection of Women and Children, was established in 1878 to prevent and resolve kidnappings and to protect destitute women and children. What is more is that the first university in Hong Kong was founded by the generosity of a philanthropist at the beginning of the 20th century. My alma mater, the University of Hong Kong, was established in 1911 with the Indian businessman Sir Homogeus Nauroji Modi learned of Governor Sir Frederick Lugard's plan to establish a university in Hong Kong and decided to donate 150,000 Hong Kong dollars towards the construction and 30,000 Hong Kong dollars for the cost for the development of the first higher education institution in the city. With the population size expanding dramatically during the early 1960s, poverty, diseases, delinquency, family violence, and other serious social issues plagued the Hong Kong community. In 1965, a group of enthusiastic and visionary volunteers started to propose the establishment of a collective channel for fundraising to address social issues so that social welfare agencies could concentrate on developing quality services for local beneficiaries. In 1968, the Community Chest of Hong Kong, the first of its kind in Asia, was officially founded under the Community Chest Ordinance to help raise funds on behalf of member social welfare agencies. Any recount of Hong Kong's history of giving would not be complete without mentioning the tremendous impact of the Hong Kong Jockey Club. For over 130 years, the club has donated large sums of money to educational, medical, recreation, and sports facilities in Hong Kong. Last year, the club made a record-breaking $3.8 billion donation to various good causes. I hope the club, under your leadership, Simon, will break another record this year. But if you will forgive me for being pedantic, the above laudable initiatives are charitable acts which involve donations in kind or in cash to relieve a particular social problem or to meet a shortfall. Philanthropy, on the other hand, aims to address the root cause of the problem with a focus on the quality of life driven by the love and concern for humanity. As the title of this forum suggests, philanthropy can create a better city, particularly at a time when our society tends to become more polarized and suffer from deepening divides of wealth and opportunity. Greater emphasis on philanthropy could, in my view, bring about social inclusion and solidarity. This gathering of practitioners and experts of philanthropy cannot therefore be more timely. Indeed, there are already very positive signs of this evolution from charity to philanthropy in Hong Kong. In recent years, following the increasing number of charitable organizations, the involvement of new forms of giving and help, as well as the promotion of corporate social responsibility, we are seeing the emergence of social enterprises as a new sector which aspires to achieve social objectives through private businesses. The Hong Kong Jockey Club has made pioneering moves in venturing into initiatives to promote elderly care through its Cadenza project and to support the healthy development of young people through its path to adulthood. And this time last year, the Social Innovation and Entrepreneurship Fund organized Hong Kong's first ever Shared Value, Creating Competitive Advantage Forum with an aim to inspire participants to incorporate corporate shared value into their corporate strategy. All these efforts are philanthropic and will make Hong Kong a better city. This takes me to another highlight of the IPSE Week, the Social Enterprise Summit, which is an annual flagship event in Hong Kong to promote cross-sectoral collaboration among social enterprises. This year, we hope to leverage on the experience of other Asian cities to find new ways for social innovation, cross-sectoral collaboration, and social impact assessment. I have been very closely associated with Hong Kong's social enterprise movement. 15 years ago, in my capacity as a director of social welfare, I set up the first government social enterprise program to provide seed money to NGOs running small businesses to provide employment for people with disabilities. This was followed by another social enterprise program I launched as a permanent secretary for Home Affairs to alleviate poverty through social enterprises at district level. As the Secretary for Development responsible for, amongst other things, Hong Kong's heritage conservation, I invited social enterprises to help revitalize our historic buildings into a heritage hotel, youth hostel, a design hub, etc. We now have a remarkable total of more than 570 social enterprises, as against a population of around 7.3 million. According to a research by the Funes Social Enterprise Society, Hong Kong has the largest number of social enterprises per 1 million of population, as compared with Taiwan, Singapore, Korea, and Vietnam. The social enterprise sector in Hong Kong is community-driven, with the government playing a supporting role. The government promotes the development of the social enterprise sector under a multi-pronged approach. We provide funding for social enterprises and social innovation projects, as well as aids in training for social enterprises to build up capacity and enhance competitiveness. We also encourage public support for social enterprises through publicity and promote cross-sectoral collaboration. We are glad to see that increasingly, social enterprises in Hong Kong are not only engaging in more different lines of businesses and operating models, but also achieving more diverse social objectives and gaining wider recognition in the community. As a final installment to the IPSE Week, we have the Social Enterprise World Forum. This World Forum was first launched in 2008 and has since grown in impact through its annual run in various cities of the world. Hong Kong is proud to serve as the newest host to this international influential event. This year's forum will review the business models and best practices in the social enterprise sector based on success stories and explore the use of social enterprises as a new market and a new form of business to achieve social objectives. Good business practices can maximize both business and social values, especially in the tripartite collaboration between businesses, the community, and the government to address complex social needs. Within the Hong Kong SAR government, we have the Innovation and Technology Commission, the recently established Innovation and Technology Bureau, and the Social Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development Fund under the Commission on Poverty to work for this cross-sectoral interest. Through these institutions, we have been building the ecosystem of support, not only for the creation of new businesses, but also for existing businesses to create new business value in ways that will increase social value. We want to create a shared value that can enrich both business and society. It is not easy to overcome the inertia of entrenched practices and assumptions to find shared value. I'm pleased to note that, however, businesses in Hong Kong are positive to the call to rethink, to experiment, and to find ways to work better for our city and for our society. As a result of globalization, many social issues and challenges have in fact become universal. The productivity challenge brought by aging population, the job market challenge brought by technological advances, the environmental challenge brought by urbanization and modernization, the housing challenge brought by affordability issues. Such challenges also present new business opportunities, taking the shared economy as an example. Increasingly, we also aspire to take things at the higher level, from environmental protection to sustainable development, from job creation to provision of equal opportunities, from provision of basic learning to the support for self-development, from poverty alleviation to reduction of wealth gap. While giving help to those in need, we also want to create social capital to address social issues and challenges. We also want to transform social challenges into new business and development opportunities. We do not just look for solutions, but strategies for social advancement. Apart from stepping up efforts for social good, philanthropies and social entrepreneurs alike are increasingly keen to find ways to assess the outcomes of the inputs and to see how such outcomes are translated into social values and impacts for the betterment of society. In a nutshell, we need to innovate and open new frontiers. To do so, we have to look beyond borders and across different sectors, and that's why we are here with the IPSE Week. The inception of the IPSE Week marks an important milestone in the social enterprise movement of this city. It provides a great platform for us to exchange ideas, share experience, and explore together possible strategies and solutions in response to global social challenges. I must express my heartfelt appreciation for the tremendous efforts made by the three organizers: the Hong Kong Jockey Club Charities Trust, the Hong Kong Social Entrepreneurship Forum, and the Hong Kong General Chamber of Social Enterprises. My gratitude also goes to my colleagues in the Home Affairs Bureau. As a government institution overseeing the growth of the social enterprise sector in Hong Kong, the Bureau has made considerable effort to steer and coordinate the organization of this grand event. I look forward to the new insights and inspirations coming up from the IPSE Week to help us advance social good for the world. May I wish the IPSE Week every success and all visiting participants a most rewarding and enjoyable stay in Hong Kong. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Lam. As the Chief Secretary explains, the Hong Kong International Philanthropy and Social Enterprise Week, or IPSE Week for short, composes of three major events. The first of which will begin tomorrow, will last from Thursday to Friday, convened by the Hong Kong Jockey Club Charities Trust, the Philanthropy for Better Cities Forum. Now may I invite the chairman of the Hong Kong Jockey Club, Dr. Simon Yip, to talk about this interesting event. Dr. Yip, please.
Chief Secretary, Dr. Lee, Dr. Yok, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's my very great pleasure to join you for the opening of the Hong Kong International Philanthropy and Social Enterprise Week. Bringing together delegates and thought leaders from Greater China, Asia, and beyond, this week's conferences provide an opportunity, a vital opportunity, to discuss how social enterprise and philanthropy can best serve the needs of 21st century society. The Hong Kong Jockey Club is itself strongly committed to the social and economic development of Hong Kong. Having grown together with our city over the last 130 years, we have had the opportunity to provide substantial support across many areas of need. We're able to do this because of our unique commitment to return our business surpluses to the community. What is truly inspiring to us is the opportunity this gives the club to work with individuals and agencies who are dedicated to improving the lives of others, often in highly innovative ways. This is why this week's conferences are so important in promoting new thinking about social needs and sharing new ways to address them. Indeed, the club is delighted to be supporting the Social Enterprise World Forum. The Philanthropy for Better Cities Forum, which launches the Hong Kong International Philanthropy and Social Enterprise Week, aims to encourage new thinking about the particular needs of urban communities. With more than half of the world's population now living in metropolitan environments, and with Asia being home to some of the largest cities, we believe it is timely to take a closer look at the role philanthropy can play in improving the urban quality of life. We are therefore pleased to welcome 1,000 delegates, many of whom from overseas, as well as some 60 speakers, including leading international experts, to join us during the week. Our hope is that this forum, the first of its kind in the region, will be the start of an ongoing dialogue on the role of philanthropy in addressing the social needs of the 21st century city. I'd like to congratulate and thank our organizing partners, including the Hong Kong SAR government, in particular the Home Affairs Bureau, the Hong Kong Social Entrepreneurship Forum, the Hong Kong General Chamber of Social Enterprises. My thanks also to many other individuals and organizations who have helped bring this exciting collaboration to fruition. I look forward to a most inspiring and productive week ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ip. So the Philanthropy for Better Cities Forum will last for 2 days, and then there's a weekend ahead. The weekend will have the Social Enterprise Summit, a locally invented, locally found event with an SE Carnival right outside of the foyer, just outside, for Saturday and Sunday. So everyone is welcome to join. To talk about more about the Social Enterprise Summit, especially the past 9 years, all the hard works and all that, may I now invite the chair of the organizing committee of the SES, Dr. Jane Lee, please.
Mrs. Carrie Lam, Dr. Simon Yip, Dr. Alice Yuk, guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed my great honor to represent the Hong Kong Social Enterprise Summit to speak to this very distinguished audience of the Hong Kong IPSE Week. The summit that I'm associated with began in 2008, and in a couple of days, we will have our 9th annual meeting. In fact, 1 year before 2008, there was a government-initiated Social Enterprise Summit meeting, which was the first of its kind in Hong Kong. A few of us at that time then felt that such an event should be run by the people of the community, like us, rather than by the government. So we decided to hijack it. What happened was that the government gracefully accepted our idea of organizing a community-driven summit, which has been clearly marked as Mangan in the Chinese name, as a showcase of the concerted effort of the sector. Since then, the government, Home Affairs Bureau specifically, has been sponsoring and supporting the summit in different ways all along, very nicely, without putting forward to us any item of its own agenda. We don't know whether it is an exceptional treatment to us. In any case, I should, on behalf of the summit organizers, to thank the Home Affairs Bureau for its unfailing support and trust in all of these years. We are also very grateful to all other sponsors in the past years, such as the Hong Kong Jockey Club Charities Trust, the Hong Kong Shanghai Banking Corporation, Hong Kong Women Professional and Entrepreneurs Association, and all organizations and individuals who have helped us over the years. Having mentioned the government summit in 2007, I'm aware that we have already been gathering together annually for 10 years, including the forthcoming one in a few days' time. The 10th year of any kind of such event is, of course, a landmark occasion. So I have tried to review what we have been doing and found a few things do stand out as consistently important. I would just mention 2 below that are particularly relevant to the IPSE Week. Firstly, right from the very beginning, we realized and emphasized that social enterprise or social entrepreneurship was not just a new endeavor on its own, but also a value or a spirit that should be shared by the whole spectrum of activities in our society. The idea of social enterprise primarily came from humankind heart GUESS is behind the noble cause of charity at the one end of the spectrum, and at the other end, where there is profit-seeking business, social enterprises wanted to learn from it the useful entrepreneurial skills that can help to amplify the effectiveness and impact of what may be called the social business in the middle. So in these years, we have been using the summit as a platform, not just to promote social enterprise per se, but also push for more entrepreneurial philanthropy and welfare in one direction, as well as more socially engaged commercial business in the other. The values to be shared have been summarized quite concisely, I believe, in the 3 sets of beautiful Chinese terms of the IPS Week, which is actually below at the stage, Kim Xin, Chong Hao, Lei Kun. Right. While Kim Xin means specifically a teaching from Mencius more than 2,000 years ago for one to do good things to others and to the world, Chong Hao means the importance of innovation and making of a real impact, and Lei Kun refers to the calling for a business model that would benefit everybody in our society. These 3 notions do represent all the summit organizers' beliefs, and I'm happy to see that they all lie behind each of the 3 events of the IPSC Week. Secondly, and in line with the philosophy of value sharing, the summit has always tried to bring everybody together for cross-sector partnership, as mentioned by Mrs. Carrie Lam. And from day one, the summit aimed to be a gathering of participants from all quarters of society. And it has indeed become one such major event every year in Hong Kong. Both at and outside the summit, we have also organized and helped to promote many cross-sector forums for dialogue and joint activities, including a whole series of community projects in recent years at district levels. We have also made many efforts to invite academics and young people to come and take part in this new social movement. It is a great pleasure indeed to see this new cause now taking firm roots steadily in the whole community, and also as a successful collaboration between the community and the government. For us, the IPSC Week is a demonstration of that progress, and we are so delighted to be part of it. At this point, let me thank once again our sponsors, our partners, and supporters for their contributions to this joint venture. I believe that our dream is coming truer every day. The summit organizers are most keen to learn from the distinguished speakers and participants of this week. I'm sure we will be able to gather many more new ideas and gain new strengths that can help us to do work better in our future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. To conclude the IPSC Week, we have the Social Enterprise World Forum. And now we have Dr. Alice Yuk, Chair of the Hong Kong General Chamber of Social Enterprises, to say a few words.
Good afternoon, friends. First of all, my apology for being, not really looking very pretty as I used to be due to the virus infection in my facial nerve. So please accept, my apology, okay? And of course, if you have new medicine, innovative treatment, please let me know, okay? I really want to retain my youthful, beautiful look. Well, thank you. The Honorable Mrs. Carrie Lam, Dr. Simon Yip, Dr. Jane Lee, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great joy to welcome all delegates, local and overseas, to this IPSC Week. Hong Kong General Chamber of Social Enterprises takes pride and gratitude in being an indispensable partner in organizing this first ever IPSC Week in Hong Kong. When I was a young lady, which is not long before, I was told that our future is all about standard and platform. I'll touch on standard at the Social Enterprise World Forum, which will start on the 25th of September. And today, please allow me to share my thoughts on the platform. This IPSC Week is, by itself, a platform for all the sectors that we can think of, bringing minds and hearts together for at least one of the following reasons: to facilitate understanding, to create collaborations, to try out innovative approaches, that create positive impact to individuals and community. To me and our General Chamber of Social Enterprises, we look forward to see this IPSE making social investment ventures more accessible to social enterprises and social innovators, challenging investors beckons more to reconsider the investment strategies or even to set up reinvestment fund as a bank, as well as building a caring economy that can transform our societies into a livable and promising community. But for us to advance further, we need a leap to enter into a new sphere. We need not only a platform or paradigm shift, but also a genuine love and concern. The one critical success factor for any charity, business, social enterprise, governments is our genuine love for our people. This IPSE is the right and opportune time for us to review our social economic strategies and redefine what governments, businesses, charities, social enterprises can be. We are here to create opportunities, sustain hope, and create life. This IPSE is not just an event. It is a movement, and we have to start this movement by building mutual respect and mutual acceptance. And then we can launch and proceed to creating shared value. Have I said too much? There's nothing more I can think of to say to you. But all you have to do is look at me to know that every word
Alice, I thought you promised for us not to sing.
Thank you. Wishing IPSE every success.
Alice did promise us that she will not sing, but I think she cannot help it. Please be seated, Alice. Please be seated. Yes, please be seated. Thank you. Thank you. I think she cannot help to sing. So, well, we have a performance already. Interesting. Mutual respect is the key message, and I hope everybody in the industry will build a trust based on mutual respect. And to share with us the ideas, especially about the younger generation, on how they have flares, hopes in social innovation, in social enterprises, in philanthropy, in charities. May I now invite the organizing committee's chair of the IPSE Week, Ms. Florence Hui, to come up on stage. You may have noticed that we have 6 Chinese characters. Kim Xin Collaborate is for the Philanthropy for Better Cities Forum. Chong Hao is for the Social Enterprise Summit. And Lei Kun is the Social Enterprise World Forum. These Chinese calligraphy are the works of foreigners. So, may I now invite Florence to come up on stage? Joining the Acting Secretary for Home Affairs are 3 presidents from the local university. Professor Tong Li Chan, President of the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. Professor Joseph Song, Vice Chancellor and President of the Chinese University of Hong Kong. Professor Timothy Tong, President of the Hong Kong Polytechnic University. Can I ask for a really big hand for our 4 guests on stage? I know the president sometimes sings too, but if you are going to sing, let us know. I think a cappella may not work in this area. So do let us know. We will try to prepare the music for you, all right? Over to you, Florence.
Thank you. All over the world, we are seeing young people endeavor to make a difference and bring positive impact to our societies. Many of them further take actions by running their own business and own projects to drive social innovation. And against this backdrop, universities in Hong Kong have been introducing programs and activities on promoting social innovation and entrepreneurship education. We are so happy to have presidents of 3 universities with us today to share their experience and insights. Professors, as you see more and more young people embark on projects or businesses that attempt to provide solutions and drive innovation for social challenges faced by the community, how do you see the significance of this trend? Perhaps Professor Chan could first share your insight.
Thank you, Florence, first of all, for inviting me to be on this panel. I'll say a few general words first before I try to answer your question. This Forum of International Philanthropy and Social Enterprise is very fitting to be held in Hong Kong, I thought. While sitting there, I actually looked it up on Google. Hong Kong has one of the highest percentage of contribution to charity in the world, okay, in the world. So I think that's and Hong Kong is one of the most, as many charitable organizations in the world. In fact, the Jockey Club, which is one of the sponsors of this event, is ranked number 6 in the world. This is on Jockey Club's homepage. So congratulations, Jockey Club. And now I say this with some self-interest, okay? Because with the topic, obviously we are on the receiving end of the first topic, the philanthropy part, and hopefully we are on the generative end of the social enterprise by educating our students. In fact, the Jockey Club has been one of our biggest benefactors from our founding days, building the campus, and continues to today. So thank you very much, Simon and the Jockey Club. Coming back to the question, right, about getting our young students and university students in particular to be interested in social enterprise, I think it's particularly relevant in the Hong Kong setting. Hong Kong has been criticized by many people for having a very exam-centric culture. Our students are driven by exam. And frankly, universities are often viewed as career training institutions only. I think speaking for HKUST, speaking for myself, my role as president, I think universities' role should be much broader than that, at a much higher level. I think social enterprise is one of the many ways, a very important way, for us to get this message across to our young students. After all, our university students are, in a way, the elite of their generation. Society has invested a lot of resources in them, and it's only fair to have expectation that they give back to society. And at HKUST, we have many programs that encourage students to do this, both within the curriculum and outside the curriculum. But in particular, as president, I try to participate as much as I can to those. And when I meet students who participate in this, I can see the difference from the before and after. And very often in the beginning, students will not have enough confidence in themselves. They are not aware of the opportunities. They ask, can I do anything? I'm just a year 1, year 2 student in mechanical engineering. Can I do anything meaningful? And what they do not realize, and what we try to instill in them, is that yes, they can. In fact, they can apply what they learn in their majors, in their studies, to the bigger world out there to try to help solve some of the society's major problems, in particular in the Hong Kong setting. So we have courses, we have school-wide programs, we send students overseas to outside of Hong Kong to help with programs. So we try to do it in a holistic way so that they don't see that as another exam, another course, another grade that they have to get. I mean, that's really the last thing we want. So that's my answer for now. Thank you.
Thank you. And Professor Song, perhaps you could share from the Chinese universities.
Well, first of all, I agree with every word that Tony said, that higher education is not just about vocational training. We are trying to train future leaders, and future leaders should have a heart for people and for the city and for the country. So I think this is one of the major missions of any university. But indeed, it is not difficult to train our youngsters to have a social a sense of social responsibilities. In fact, I believe that every kids grow up and go through a stage of being a socialist. And we all go through this stage that we care for the poor, we would like to help those who have handicaps and the elderly people, and so on and so forth. I think we all go through the stage of being a socialist until we start to pay our bills and pay our mortgages. And now I think we just have to enhance them and try to give them opportunities and try to organize some meaningful activities for them so that it will broaden their horizon and give them experience in doing so. So the university has a very major role to play in this. And we take this as part of our general education as CUHK. And a couple of years ago, we also started a program called I Care, in which we actually organize students to go out to study social problems, and not just to criticize, but try to see what you can help, what you can do to solve these problems. Aging, poverty, unequal distribution of wealth, and so on. Housing, a lot of them have been mentioned by the Chief Secretary. So we asked our students, go out to know more about this program and look around the world how other cities or countries handle these problems and try to come back with some solution. We also send them to other countries, especially rural parts of mainland China, to help in doing something. We have a project together with other universities called Wu-Zi-Qiu, in which they built a small bridge for the villages in China and to link up the Hong Kong community with poor and remote provinces in China. And I think in all such experiences, our students learn a lot. And in fact, I suspect that they are the major benefactor. In fact, instead of the people who they serve, they are the one who've been benefit most. So I think this is, in fact, not an extracurricular activity, but a core part of our higher education curriculum.
And Professor Tong?
Yes, well, first of all, thank the organizers for inviting me to join the distinguished speakers on stage. At Hong Kong Poly U, the education that we deliver nowadays really aims to achieve two things. One is, of course, to educate our students so that they are equipped with the skills and knowledge to become successful professionals in the future. But that's not enough. The second thing we aim to achieve is to nurture them to have a much stronger sense of social responsibility. The question is how? I would say back in 2012, when the university switched from a 3-year system to a 4-year system, it gave us the opportunity to adopt a new curriculum for all of our students. So nowadays, all of our students, no matter what they're majored in engineering, in nursing, in accounting, they have to fulfill a requirement in service learning. And the service learning subjects that we are offering require our students to apply their professional knowledge to doing something useful for society before graduation. It's credit-bearing, so it must have certain level of academic rigor in what they do. Each year, 4,000 of our students graduate with a bachelor's degree. About 75% of them conduct their service learning projects in Hong Kong. About 15% of them conduct their service learning projects in mainland China. Then the remaining 10% will conduct their service learning projects elsewhere in the world, but mostly in Southeast Asia. Let me give you a few examples. A service learning project in Hong Kong. Our students majored in land surveying and geoinformatics. They applied their knowledge to help ethnic minority kids in some of the districts in Hong Kong to use satellite information to create a map of their neighborhood. The purpose is to help the young kids to know their neighborhood better, and thereby they can integrate into society better. At the same time, our students can make use of what they have learned from the textbooks. Another example, our biomedical engineering students worked with a center in Guangzhou where there's a concentration of young kids, but handicapped kids. Some have lost their legs, some have lost their hands, and our students help them make the artificial limbs and help them install the artificial limbs, hoping that they would regain some normalcy in their daily life. Another group of students in engineering designed and made a solar-powered lighting system and brought the system to a village in Rwanda, in Africa, and installed a system for the local villagers. You can imagine how much improvement the quality of life the local villagers can realize. The good thing about the service learning subjects is that in order to identify these projects, in the past 4 years, we have entered into new partnership agreement with more than 100 NGOs because they are the ones who brought these projects to us. And 2 years ago, I was in Cambodia with 80 of our students who were there doing service learning projects. What moved me most was when I arrived, I discovered a dozen of them had actually gone to Cambodia the year before and completed their service learning projects, satisfied the requirements already. But they felt so strongly about what they were doing. They went back on their own time and their own finances to continue their work. Let me share another thing with you on the research and development side. A few years ago, with the support of the Hong Kong Jockey Club, we created a design institute on social innovation. And this design institute is to provide a platform for people from different disciplines, designers, engineers, come together to work on problems that benefit the community. One of the projects that they worked on was the design of new hawker stores after the Great Fire on Fa Yun Garden Street. And nowadays, many of the hawkers are using this new designed hawker stores. It's safer and yet meet their needs. So I think in both education and research and development, we are aiming to provide opportunities for our students, our staff as well, to apply their creativity so that they not only conduct their work because they need to, according to their profession, but they also generate results that benefit the community. So I'll stop here and
Thank you, Professor Tong.
Yeah, thank you.
Our universities truly create an environment to help our young people to flourish. And Professor Tong, you just shared with us how technology and design has facilitated social innovation and learning, not only locally, but also internationally. But besides technology and design, empirical research, as well as knowledge exchange and international exchange are also equally important. And in this area, we have seen quite a lot of academic researches and entrepreneurship and social innovation in particular in recent years, many led by Chinese university. And perhaps Professor Song, you could share with us how this academic research on social innovation and entrepreneurship have facilitated your students to further embark and drive social innovation.
Well, as I mentioned, we have been working both locally as well as in the mainland. And we try to encourage our teachers to take a group of students to take up a project so that there will be some elements of R&D and some elements of teaching and learning. One of the recent examples that I would like to quote to you is our Professor of Architecture, Edward Ng, has now taken up a project that he tried to create local, using local material, that is the earth, in Sichuan and in Yunnan area to make these bricks, which is more solid and harder than the normal bricks. And they use it for building local houses in earthquake regions. And he actually been running this and has been given an award in architectural design. And now they are trying to create villages in Yunnan and in many parts of remote villages in China, and try to set up business for the local villagers, teach them how to make these bricks, and so that they can run their own business using just local material and building stronger houses that can stand the shaking effect of earthquakes. I think in this kind of process, they learn about architectural design, they learn about building, but they also learn about entrepreneurship, how to run a business, and teach people in the small village how to run a business. So I think there are multifaceted projects like this will benefit students. And they are not just architecture students. They are students from the business school, from engineering, from arts, and so on. So this is the kind of example that we would like them to conduct. In fact, I still think that we have a lot more to improve on. I think our student is lacking, number one, experience in doing business. They don't know how to run a true business, and unlike what is mentioned in the textbook. So they need some real-life experience. So we try to bring alumni like yourself to help them getting different exposures. The second thing that our student is lacking is a more global vision. So sometimes they are very interested in local problems and local issues, but I would like them to see what the world, what the global village really needs. Some places need fresh water, some places need better housing, better sanitary conditions. So there are lots to be done. I recently was asked to be in a judging panel of a worldwide social enterprise award. And I've seen students from India, from Nepal, from Africa. They have been doing very innovative things, which is really eye-opening. I think we should try to push our students to go to these places so that they can be more cognizant about what the world really needs. It's more than problems that we are facing in Hong Kong, but there are a lot of global needs that we have not met.
Thank you, Professor Sung. And you just have touched upon the difficulties and challenges faced by students as they try to be change makers. Perhaps in the interest of time, that would be the last question that we would like to pose on Professor Chen and also Professor Tong as well, if you could also share some insights on these areas. The key challenges and difficulties that you see in our students as they try to be social innovators, and also what encouragements you would, provide to them to help them to overcome these challenges.
Yeah, I think, as a young person, coming into university, 17, 18 years old, they haven't really seen the world. They probably do not know themselves, really, know what they can do, confidence. So they may be afraid of trying because they're afraid of failing. I think all these things we're all aware of. But I think the thing is to get them started early. Maybe not, tell them that, okay, you're going to solve the world's biggest problem, solve the world's poverty problem. That's too high a call. So for example, I'll give you one example. Some of you may know about this DJI company. Because they're opening a big flagship store not far from here this Saturday, like a big Apple store. So this is founded by an undergraduate student 8-9 years ago. The person started as part of a robotics team. So you provide this platform, it's just hands-on, they try this, it's like fun. Then what happened, I understand just before I came to UST, there was the Sichuan, Wenchuan earthquake. So he had this helicopter, and it turns out it was needed to go to the disaster area because the roads are all blocked, okay? And so this is one example where technology can help with so good. And then I think he discovered that if you attach a camera, you can actually see things. It turns out there's a big commercial market for that. So I think the thing is to get them started, and then they see social enterprise is doing social good, but also could be an enterprise, could be a business enterprise. So if you get them slowly involved, they are open to more possibilities, they have more confidence, and then if they have the right environment and support, the sky is the limit. Not everybody will succeed, of course, just like any business in the world. So we believe in the university, we should provide a platform, give them the exposure, give them the mentorship, give them the confidence. I think that's really what we should do, yeah.
And Professor Tong, your word of
I
encouragement.
ditto what Tony just said and what Joseph said earlier. The important thing is for students to have opportunities to broaden their horizon. Of course, a minority of them will have opportunities to travel abroad on exchange programs and so forth. But majority of them will finish their degree program on campus. So at noon today, I had lunch with a dozen or so students. There were students from Kazakhstan, students from the mainland, students from Hong Kong. And I gave them the advice that I always share with students, is that each semester, try to meet 5 people, 5 fellow students who are from a different background than yourself. And by the time they graduate, at least they have a circle of friends who have contributed to enriching their own learning, and they will have contributed to helping others learning different cultures as well. So I would say to students, make use of the opportunities available, whether it's at home or abroad, and broaden their horizon. Thank you.
Thank you. From what we learned from our 3 university leaders, our universities in Hong Kong have been providing different learning experience to help students explore entrepreneurship and ways to become a social innovator, enabling them to become more well-prepared and ready to embrace challenges. I trust the last message we could all share with our young people would be bold and aim high. You can also be one of the change makers and achieve success beyond your imagination. There's quite a sizable group of students registered with seminars and discussion sessions in the coming IPSC week. I hope the experience can bring more inspiration to our young people and also insights to all our participants. Thank you very much, professors. Thank you all.
Thank you, presidents. And can I invite the 3 of you to take a photo with Florence, the Acting Secretary for Home Affairs? Let's take a photos together in front of Florence calligraphy. To collaborate, to co-create, and to contribute. Thank you. President, please remain on stage. Florence, please be seated. The 3 organizers would also like to present to you as souvenirs. So can I now invite Dr. Yip, Dr. Lee, and Dr. Yok to come up on stage to present a souvenir. We actually got something from local social enterprises in Hong Kong. This beautiful mosaic are actually made by Sing Gong Hui Hong Yan Yuan. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Alice Yok, Dr. Jing Lee, and Dr. Yip. Can I ask you to put your hands together for Professor Chan, Professor Song, and Professor Tong, please? Next is our opening gimmick. Can I ask the 3 presidents to be seated? And then Dr. Yok, Dr. Lee, and Dr. Yip will be joined by the Chief Secretary. Now may I invite Mrs. Carrie Lam to proceed onto the stage to join the stage party for the opening gimmick. All right, the opening gimmick, we have prepared 4 bows. 4 bows. Come on, come on. All right, 4 bows. All right. Without the arrows are our dreams and hopes. So 4 bows, professional bows, and when you finish the gimmick, you can put it like right here, and then we can take another group photo with the presidents. All right, photo time. And then can I ask everyone to count from 3, all right? The concept behind is we have to aim high and aim far. We have to look ahead into the future, all right? All right, let's count from 3, all right? 3, 2, 1. Aim high, fly high. The Hong Kong International Philanthropy and Social Enterprise Week is now formally begun. Okay, as you can see, the Philanthropy for Better Cities Forum is from the 22nd to the 23rd of this month, followed by the Social Enterprise Summit on Saturday and Sunday. And then in the afternoon of Sunday will be the Social Enterprise World Forum, all the way to Tuesday. All right? In Chinese, 好英係嘛佢哋㗎? Looking really good, huh? Okay, now can I ask the 3 presidents from the university to take another group photo? Please, and Florence too. Florence, please, on behalf of the organizing committee. Florence has been putting a lot of thoughts and minds and sweats in organizing this week. Thank you. All right.兼善創效利群 collaborate, co-create, and contribute. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Due to prior commitments of the Chief Secretary, Mrs. Carrie Lam would now retreat from the ceremony. And would our guests please remain seated, please? All right. Does everyone got our goodies bag? Does everyone got this goodies bag? Everyone got this? Okay. Some of you have already looked inside. There are programs, 3 program books from the PBC, Philanthropy for Better Cities Forum, Social Enterprise Summit, and the Social Enterprise World Forum. Why don't we just put some force into it and put this into motion? Panel, can I put this into motion? 1, 2, 3. Move. All right, thank you. All right, besides the 3 programs, we also have some latest research on social enterprises by Dr. Key, Gei Ziheng. So you can also look into the 3 booklets who will share with you a lot of interesting case studies as well. And finally, there's also a postcard set who outline the rundown of the IPSC week from the 22nd to the 27th. So once again, we look forward to seeing you every day from today onwards. Some of you may be joining the racing in Happy Valley tonight. It's Wednesday, so it's a racing night as well. So without further ado, can I ask all of you to put a round of applause to all the foreign guests? Thank you for joining us today. Hong Kong needs you, Hong Kong loves you, and I think Hong Kong, with all these bright minds and new ideas, can create a better world. So we need all your support. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.